Hello, viewers out there. Thank you for joining us in another episode of Agribusiness Talk with Dr. Peter Daniel. Now, in this episode, we'll be delving into the agribusiness of the rice value chain. Now, when we say when we say value chain, we're talking about all activities that are involved in the production of rice till it gets to the final consumer. So we're going to be talking about production, talk about the processing, we'll talk about the marketing, we're going to talk about the transportation and all stakeholders that will be involved to get your milled rice to the final consumer. So by way of introduction, we all know that rice is a stable food. Rice that is consumed by almost every household. It cuts across both all culture, ethnicity, and also there's really no discrimination against rice. And we know rice is consumed generally in all households. So just to the structure of what the presentation will have today, I will give a general overview of the economy of rice as it is in Nigeria. I will discuss a little of what you need to know in all the value chains. Then I will talk about the varying production scale and how you can come in. And I will talk about some potential risks, challenges you may need to look into and avoid if you are going to invest in rice. Then how you can overcome these challenges. I'll also talk about how you can secure finance, how you can secure funds, a little way you can secure funds for your business, and the action step you should take as a new entrant. The essence of this episode is to get you to love the value chain and get you to tap into the business opportunity that abound in it. Currently, we all know that current statistics show that we are about 223 million in population, and almost every household in Nigeria eats rice one way or the other, aside the Christmas and the festive period that we eat rice. So rice is accepted across all the families. Now, just to talk to you little on the economy, we know that rice, as of the statistics from 2015, shows that we spend over an average of 155 billion naira annually on rice importation. Statistics also show that our production per hectare still hovers between 2.5 tons to 4 tons per hectare. Statistics also show that there's a current demand gap of about 5 million metric tons per annum. The current price of rice as it is today is hovering around 85 to 95,000 naira per 50 kg of milled rice. So what does that tell us? That tells us that there's a huge investment opportunity in this light. So if you're in diaspora, if you're a young man in Nigeria, and you're looking at what business to do or what business to venture in the agri-business value chain, in the agribusiness sector, then rice is one key thing that you can look into and invest in. Nigeria still import rice annually and will spend it comprise of after wheat, sugar. I think rice is almost the next thing that we import in Nigeria. We still spend a whole lot to import. Imagine the demand supply gap of around 5 million metric tons. If we try to put a little analysis on the demand as it is in Nigeria, both locally, that is ignoring the government statistics. If we say if average household in Nigeria comprised of 6%, right? 6% in 200 million population or over 200 million, that brings us to around 33 million households. So if we do, let's say another rough estimate to say just 3% out of these six will consume rice per day. Maybe they consume about 1 kg per day of rice per day, and that's 3% uh, 33 million potential household. That brings us to around 11.11 11,101 thereabout million people consuming rice per day. So if we bring that and bring it to ton, that's per day, we're talking about 11,000 on average metric tons per day that will be consumed across Nigeria. Do the math by a year. So that shows you that the demand is there. The demand is there. So if you invest into this value chain, you are sure that you are going to get your money back. Talking about the agroecology of rice. Now, in the course of the video of this episode, we'll play some videos just in between to show you what rice production is like in Nigeria. Taking example from Tiga, uh, uh, Tiga in Kano State, Garumalam also in Kano State, except the Chiromawa area in Kano State. You know, for instance, Garumalam in Kano State have over I think 1,000 or so hectare span of irrigation water dam that that was done by the state government some years ago. So in Kano, or not Kano, in Niger State, even in Abuja, right in Abuja, in KB, you can farm rice both raining and dry season. In the Hausa, we call it Rani the Damina, So both raining and dry season. So you can do 2 cycles in a year. And from practical experience on the field, production during the dry season, that is the irrigated field, tends to yield more than the rainy season. So it means that if you invest in this particular subsector of the agricultural industry in Nigeria, you can be in business all through the year. And trust me, there are off-takers, there are partners, there are people who are in the value chain that are interested in picking up what you are producing. Now, to talk a little to the value chain in the enterprise, production. Now, if you want to come into production, that means you want to be involved in the production of rice. Now, Garumalam is a good place to look into if you are in the northern hemisphere of Nigeria. If you are in the south, you can look to Ebonyi State. It's a good place. You can look at rice production. Abakaliki. You can also look at Enugu State. You can also look at Cross River, right? Then if you middle belt, yeah, Nasarawa, Abuja, all the ecology and the soil in this location are favorable to rice production. So what that entails is that you may need some expert advice depending on the location you choose, soil test and all that you may need to do before putting in your money. The agricultural investment we know is risky, but in one of the episodes, I will deal completely on uh, agricultural insurance in Nigeria and how you can insure your investment. So you look out for the episode. Just check. You see one of the episodes that will discuss the insurance so that you help the risks a little or probably cushion the risks that are there, because we cannot deny the fact that there is risk in agribusiness. So production, because if you're going to go into production per hectare, you may need 25 kg bag, you may need 6 bags of fertilizer that's comprising of 2 bags of urea, 4 bags of NPK, maybe 15-15 or 15-10-10, depending on where you may need agrochemicals, that is pesticide and insecticide. Then, of course, you need the weed side, you need weeding, another cultural practice that you need to put into your production activity, all the cultural activities that you need to do. And per hectare, with good management practice, you can have between 3 to 4 tons per hectare after production. And that puts you on a gross margin ratio that's a profitability of about 68.4% on average. The profitability in rice production hovers between 50 to 70%. That's what it hovers around from my various analysis of various farms in Nigeria. So you are sure that you are not going to lose any of your investment. Now, if you decide to go into processing, so what processing means is that you are going to pick the paddy, the produce after harvesting from the farm gate. So once you pick it from the farm gate, you are now going to start. That's where the activity of value addition comes in. So if you say, okay, I'm scared of invest in production because of the whole drug-free nature, because of the whole stress, you want to hang in between. So you can look into processing. And processing, what you now need to do is, okay, I want to invest in processing of rice. So what do? You identify hotspots where you know that you'll be able to get consistent supply of the produce. So where you'll be getting your paddy. So you look at Bauchi axis, the Jos axis, also the Niger axis, right, Kano axis. So you buy the paddy from uh, the farmers, take to your mill, maybe a small mill. You will have invested in mill, you will have done all your uh, business case and invested in your meal. Then you begin to mill and you repackage and sell milled rice, that is parboiled milled rice. In this case, your profitability, although it may shrink a little to around 14%, but this 14% is huge, it's big when you do the maths, because uh, you are now selling milled rice 50 kg as against the 75 kg you bought. So when you do the net, of course, you stay profitable. Now, if you don't want to stay in processing and you feel, okay, let me stay in marketing, right? It's either you are marketing paddy rice or you are marketing milled rice. So if you decide to stay in marketing and you want to market paddy rice, you can also dualize as an aggregator, right? If you dualize as an aggregator, it means that you can buy the paddy from the farmers, right, and sell to the off-takers and take the little net, take away the cost of transportation, and you make your little profit. So if you buy paddy as of today, the paddy goes 75 kg bags of paddy as of when this video is being done, is around 65,000 naira. So probably when you are watching and you want to look into the business, you ask and know the prevailing market price might have gone down or it will have gone up. So if you buy your paddy at 65,000 at farm gate, naira, as a paddy marketer or as an aggregator, you can now assemble or put in a good and assemble in a warehouse or in a store for yourself. So once you've gotten the reasonable number of bags you want, you can get off-takers or the processors to come and buy from you. And by simply doing this, you can mark up around 3,000 naira per bag, sometimes 5,000. Because if the off-taker or the processor is seeing that you have a good number, then you have a bargaining power. So you can mop up a little money on it as benefit from it. Then you sell. So the cost you're incurring is the transportation to your warehouse and the cost you're incurring for storage and the cost for the warehouse on maintenance of the warehouse. So uh, this is another sweet business you can look into if you're in the diaspora or if you're a young man in Nigeria looking for investing, looking at how to invest in agricultural business and particularly rice. So I've talked to production, that where you have to be actually involved in producing rice. I've talked to processing, which is the next activity after production. I've also talked to staying as a marketer. Now that is marketing of paddy. Now, if you want to now market parboiled milled rice, so what you'll be doing in that light is now that you are going to work hand in hand with the processors. Now, if you want to be a marketer of parboiled mid rice, so at what level do you want to come in? Do you want to come in as a wholesaler? Do you want to come in as a retailer, or you just want to come in as an agent middleman, right? Or a speculative middleman, depending on how you want to come in. So if you are going to come in as a wholesaler, that's when you will need a lot of money because you may need to invest some money to come to get like a truck, a trailer load. A trailer load is around 600 bags of 50 kg parboiled made rice. So, but if you want to come in as a retailer or some come in as a small business, you can start with 100 bags, you can start with 50 bags, you can start with 200 bags, right? Just to keep you going. That's how the business starts. So you buy from the processors. Now, because they know that you are not the end user, you are going to sell to the consumer, they'll give you a discounted price. And most times, the cost you'll be incurring is just the cost of transportation and also putting in your warehouse or putting in your store. Then, if you are going to engage probably someone that will be selling, maybe a sales girl or so. So In that light, you can also make up a markup of say 5,000 thereabout, depending on how you now decide your profit margin. No one decide because you can always operate as as a monopolist. So you decide the profit you want to put and you make your markup and you sell. So another way you can come in the rice value chain is to come in as an input dealer. So as an input dealer, you sell uh, the agrochemicals that is needed by the farmers, the pesticide, the insecticide, the weedicide, the herbicides, uh, rodenticides that they need. You know, you can always link up with the companies producing these. You buy, position around where the farmers are, and sell, right? Even in the market and all. Or you sell fertilizer. As of today, fertilizer at the time of this recording, fertilizer is around 45,000 naira. So, 40 to 45,000 naira per bag for urea. MPK is also hovering around 38 to 42,000 naira per bag. So, the time of this recording. So, that's selling to the final user now, which is the farmer. So you can hang in between and be a fertilizer dealer. There are a lot of fertilizer companies in Nigeria. You can look out for them. I will not be promoting any of them here, so you can look out for them and buy, then you sell. All you also need to do is position around the farmers. Then now, if you now want to be a retailer, that's the last chain, the person selling to uh, the final consumer. It means that you are buying from uh, either the wholesaler, the processor, to sell to the final consumer. And I think this is where they make the most of the money, because the retailer has the luxury of selling in modules. A module is around 0.66 kg, right? So these are all the activities that has to do with the rice value chain, the activities then. Now I've not, okay, also the transportation. These are also a place you can come in. You can invest in trucks if you have that money to buy trucks, or invest in uh, vehicles that can serve as transportation. Uh, we can serve for transportation, transporting, because farmers always need people to transport their paddy. Uh, Marketers need, the processors need, the retailers need. They all need people that would provide the services of transportation. Another way you can also hang in the rice value chain is to provide advisory services, that is extension services. You find a way you can work with agro input dealers, work with fertilizer companies, work with uh, big processing companies to provide private extension to their farmers. So you can, of course, package yourself properly, and they recruit you and engage you as a private extension agent, or have a company that have extension agent under signed to you, that they can always consult to go maybe deliver advisory services to farmers. So if you are looking at investing in the rice value chain, I've itemized the areas you can look into. And now, as aside selling in the Nigerian market, even in the West African coast, the immediate countries around Togo, Ghana, and all, your right, Niger, your rice can always go there and serve as a foreign exchange. And as far as Nigeria keep importing rice, since that means there is still a gap, right? And there's a policy around ban of rice importation, which has favored local production. And the policy, though relaxed, but is still being enforced. So it means that if you invest, there is a demand. There is demand. And rice, as far as we are concerned, Nigeria is one of the major food that we always consume. Now, if you are going to go into production, marketing, whatever, uh, there's always a way to come in. You can come in small scale, you can come in large scale and medium scale. So at this point, if you decide to invest, which I want you to decide to invest after watching to this time, I need you to decide to invest. You seek expert counsel. Seek expert counsel on how to come in, and if you're coming in medium scale or large scale or small scale. So expert counsel on how to secure land, expert counsel on where to buy the right input, to buy your input, to source your raw materials, and expert counsel on the best way to go about your business. But if you're going to go into production, a small scale farmer is someone that's farming just below 5 hectares. Farming below 5 hectares, small scale farmers. 5 hectares, about 10,000 meters square. That's a hectare. Then for a medium scale farmer, is someone that is farming between uh, uh, 5 to 10 hectares, while a large scale, someone that has above 10 hectares dedicated to rice production. Okay, now I'll talk to the challenges. And before I talk to the challenges, I'll play a little interview I had with a farmer, because what we try to do in this series is to go to those locations, excuse me, beg your pardon, go to those locations, interact with farmers, hear some of their challenges, see what is tried, and look at the opportunities. And before we now come do a full documentary on it, provide you with the information you need, then also guide you on how you can go into the business. So you watch a little of that video we had in these two locations.
So I want to address the major commodity that goes in this. This is a tiga.
This is tiga.
Under
the Bebeji local government. The multi commodity that grows here, rice, maize, and unicorn. Then partially we grow wheat.
Wheat?
In the river basin area.
Okay, which side is the river basin?
Down.
How many communities? What's the name of it? Is it Rantan? What's the name of it?
No, you have Rantan.
Okay.
You have what? Gomana. Community na akwai Rantan. Ana dariya, akwai tiga.
And the three of them rice.
They do rice.
You do irrigation.
They use in some area they do irrigation, and they use this what you call this well you grow you drill tube well. Yes. They have a tube well where you have
so the water comes from the ground, then you use a pumping machine to push it.
But it's expensive anyway. And that is done mainly by rich farmers actually. Because the input is very.
So no river at all.
No. The water, the Garumalan we went to, and Garumalan, Kura, Bunkure, the water they are mostly 100%
rice.
No, they are 100% irrigation farmers, and the water they use is located here in Tiga. The dam is here in Tiga. Just that this side is uphill, so the water cannot come up here, but it's down there, so it's 100%.
You have dam down there. You call it Audubako.
It's an Audubako project.
Okay, but is there any processing plant for rice here? A big processing plant?
No.
So where do you sell your rice?
Only in Kura.
That is
Where to sell it?
marketing of this commodity.
They process it manually.
Now they process it manually. They dry it on the floor, and at the end of the day, you find out that the cross is contaminated.
But you produce, but there's no off-taker, nobody coming to mop up your production.
No, you take it to the nearest market. We have a market in Kabin Miyagi.
Okay.
Sometimes they use Kura.
But is there any security challenges here? Are people peaceful?
No, there's no major security challenges.
So if you want to tell an investor to come here now,
it's free actually. There's no major challenges in terms of security around this area.
What of the soil?
Well, it is the types of crops that are grown. It's dedicated by the type of soil we have.
So the soil you have here support rice.
It support rice. It support maize, and sometimes even these beans.
Okay, so like in a hectare, like how many bags or kg?
Depends on the effort of the farmer. But on the average, by hectare they make about 60 bags. of 100 kg.
That's about 60 times 100.
That's about 120, 50 kg.
Okay, that's like 6 tons.
60
No,
instead what?
That's 6 tons.
60 divided by 20 now.
No, you say 60 bags.
60 bags.
60 bucks times 50 is 3,000.
No, divided by 20. It gives you
See, how many kg
tonnage.
bags? How many kg bags?
100 kg.
Of
60 bags of 100 kg.
100 kg.
That's serious.
And after threshing, then you get about.
That's how many?
60 bag of 100 kg. 6,000.
Tons.
Yes, 6,000.
Those, with good management, you can even get up to 8. But on the average,
That's what you get.
on the average,
But
people
if
here
you
get
fight, the problem now is who to buy them.
to buy them and turn out
Okay, can I-
where.
Thank you very much. So now, having seen that video, we're going to talk further buttress on the challenges and also buttress on the opportunities. From the video, you can see that the people in this community are not as it's said on most times on the news. Nigerians are not hostile. We don't just see you and just start trying to axe you down. No, we are welcoming and we have goodwill and we are hardworking and we do business. We do business. We have a lot of goods in Nigeria and not just the negative that has been promoted by social media and all. So the video shows that the place is friendly, and the climate and the weather there it's okay and accommodating, and these farmers are currently practicing. And with a little support and incentive, you can do better. Now, if you are going into production, it means you can always work with these farmers. If you are going into processing, you can always work with them. If you are going into marketing, whatever or whichever part of the value chain you want to come in, there are farmers on ground. There are people already in the business, and they are doing well. And there are no security challenges as so. There are generally pockets of challenges everywhere, but they always have solution around it. Now, what are some of the production risks and challenges that you may be scared of in investing if you want to invest in the rice value chain? Number one challenge is, which is the general thing, is the policy somersault, policy instability. So now, immediately the government closes the border or put a restriction on rice importation, talking about rice now, you see that it encourages local production and a lot of people are producing and there is a ready market for it and the enterprise will be striving and all. But if when another government comes in and opens up the border and eases up the restriction, you see the Nigerian markets get flooded with foreign rice, which sometimes are not really foreign rice, but local rice repackaged in foreign sacks, and that's because of our appetite for foreign things. We have this large appetite of consuming foreign things. But once the policy is stable and the restriction is there, so it means that when you produce, there will not be price shock, there will not be immediate shock. And what is the way forward around this? The way forward around this is make sure you package well. You can, of course, when you are producing, the goal is now to put your produce and product to compete both locally and internationally. So once your product is packaged properly and what is inside the container, not just packaging the container now, that the content is also reflecting what you're saying on the container, then people will patronize you. I have practically I've had experience in rice marketing, processing and marketing, which I still do even now. It's a business that I have hands-on experience in. And what customers will always want to see is that what you are promising them is what it is. So that when they cook and they are testing, because one cannot buy one mudu to go and test before coming to, you cannot give out one mudu for somebody to test before he buys. So the person is going to buy on the basis of your word of mouth, basis of the assurances you are giving. Once the assurances are met, you are sure of getting return client. So produce in such a way that you want to compete with international market. Now, number 2 is the climate change. In episode 2 of this series, we dealt a lot with climate change, and I will recommend you watch that. so that you see we've done a whole lot of analysis of climate change and agribusiness. So we understand that these challenges are there and they are a reality facing us. So climate change, that is, we're having issue of flooding coming. So that's where insurance comes in. There's always insurance cover for flooding. So it's just a way of how you go around it. So I will dedicate another episode that will talk to insurance. So I also recommend that you watch the episode that dealt fully on insurance. So one way is to get insurance. Then two, you have to now target your planting and harvesting period. Rice if you are going to plant, rice takes an average of 90 days on the field. So target to plant early so you can harvest early. The flooding in Nigeria already have a pattern. It comes in the month of around October, November, sometimes, majorly October, November. So if you target properly, it means you can harvest before October. If you are doing rain fed, you can harvest before October and you'll be safe. Then after October, November, when we've dealt with the issue of flooding, the water will start receding, then we get to December. So if you are doing irrigated, right, plant first week of December so that before February, you're already harvesting, right? So that you just make sure you plant early and also harvest early. Another problem that is common to farmers when you interact with farmers, these are now experiences from the field. Like I said, some of these locations have been visited, we've interacted with them, and we are bringing you information directly from the farmers. Another challenge is problem of pest and disease. I think that has been a tradition, it is a perennial challenge. It has been there over the years. So look for look for pest resistant variety, pest and disease resistant variety. Faro 44 is a good variety. There's Faro 52. The other varieties that you can look into that will are resistant to some of those diseases. But dealing with the pest, particularly birds, particularly birds, there are traditional method that has been used to do that, and there are also professional method you can adopt to deal with the issue of pest. And it also comes with planting early and harvesting early, because there are also weather and climate that favors the manifestation or the prevalence of this pest, and also the activities of birds. They use bird scaring and other activities. So if you harvest early, you target your harvesting and also secure your farms, then you can deal with the issue of pest, disease, and also the birds, security particularly for the birds. Now, another challenge is agrochemicals. People say, and that's fertilizer particularly now. I've dealt with lack of agrochemicals, and people say fertilizer challenges, they don't have the money to buy fertilizer, it's expensive. But the truth is, farmers will always complain that there's no money. But regardless of the number of bags of fertilizer you put, if you spend around, let's say a bag is around 40,000 and you're using 6 bags, that's like 240,000 spent on fertilizer alone. From my experience over the years, I have over 8 years experience in this value chain. There is practically no way, no matter how much you spend on fertilizer, you will not still be making around 50 to 70% of your investment. You will be making a markup of that, because the money that you will use to cultivate a hectare ranges between 400 to 600,000 naira. And when you harvest, there's no way you will not be doing around 1.2, sometimes 2 million per hectare. It just depends on how the yield comes. So take, for instance, you are getting 60 bags. You can punch in your calculator. You are getting 60 bags per hectare, right? I'm just trying to calculate here. If you do 60 bags at 65,000 naira, that's 3.9 million already. That is 60 bags at 65,000 naira. That's 65,000 per 75 kg bag. Okay, let's say the harvest that did not go very well and you are doing 40 bags. So even if you do 40 bags, that's 2.6 million. So if you are going to spend a figure around 400 to 600,000, worst case, even given inflation, 400 to 900,000 to get this. I mean, and that is, we are netting out all the cost that we are saying is negligible for the purpose of just this video. We don't want to go into all the details of the fixed costs. We are just talking about the operating costs or variable costs, depending on what language works for you, that you incur. Okay, so It means in that light, good planning will help you prepare for the next farming season. That's for the person complaining about lack of fertilizer. And there's always a way to network and partner with companies that are into this uh, our agro dealers that are into input supply. So you can always partner with them and they'll come to your aid. But you really need fertilizer for good yield. So if it's an investment you need to do, then it is worth doing. Okay, so what other challenges are there? People say they are adulterated inputs, adulterated chemicals. So now you now need to know the source. Where are you buying from? Buy from the right source. Buy from reputable companies. Then other challenge, people say price fluctuations and all, which I already discussed with the policy issue. Because if there are no new rice coming in, if there's no inflow of rice, then we will not have that. Then except in rare cases, and which this does not happen. Excuse me, this does not happen in rice. It's maybe other enterprises, maybe egg, right? But not in rice. We don't have cases of glut where you have egg. No, we don't really, because there is constant demand. What we are even producing is not even enough. It's not sufficient to get to where there is glut going to come on. So I've identified about 3 or 4 challenges: policy instability, pest and disease, birds, okay, added to pests, lack of agrochemicals also, or insufficient or inadequate, then adulterated agrochemicals, So look what you can, the informations are out there. You can always look at Seed Council, the National Seed Council of Nigeria, National Agricultural Seed Council. Look into their website and look at the reputable dealers that they work with. They are registered so that you can buy your input, any of your input seed from. If it's fertilizer, look at IFDC, International Fund for IFDC. Look at their platform. You see what they have, so that you can see because they've done a lot. That's African fertilizer now. They've done a lot of fertilizer. You see reputable companies that you can work in for that. What other challenges are there? Let me come up. That's enough for production challenge. For the marketers, what challenge? Now we have poor road network. That is already known that we have poor road network. We have issue of bad roads. And what if after processing, I'm transporting my commodity from Niger to Abuja to sell, and the road is bad and my truck fall. So now that's where insurance also comes into help, right? Ensure that your activity, right? It's just a little premium you are paying. Then use a reputable transportation firm that may also be insured. They may also have a level of insurance cover. So use a reputable transportation firm that has the repute of moving agricultural commodities, and they will move it safely. Other pockets of issue, like I have experienced, is damage of bags in the truck. So that as they transported the rice, maybe because of the handling by the people offloading and unloading, some bags will be torn. All you just need to do is rebag it and you'll be fine. The ones that still remaining in the bag, rebag it. That's just minimalistic. What other challenges there? Okay, with increase in fuel prices, as the cost of transportation. Of course, one you definitely incur cost one way or the other in transporting. Then you mop that up into your cost of your operating cost, and that will help you decide your profit margin. That's why I was saying the profit decision will be left to the monopolist, to the person running it, because you will know the cost you have incurred, although you make sure that your price is not too far from the prevailing market price, so you cannot easily sell and come back. What other challenge do you face if you decide to go into the marketing and processing? Maybe storage pests, right? Rats, rodents, and all. You can use rodenticide. You know how to deal with that. There may be damage during storage. That means you have to find a way to store properly in a cool, dry room. Store away from the wall. Store on a rack. Put wooden pallets and store on it. These are ways you can easily overcome some of those challenges. As I'm identifying the challenges, I'm also providing solution. I'm giving all this out free, just so that we want to develop Nigeria. We want investment in Nigeria. We want to end the narrative the food import bill is we cannot have over 36,000 hectares of arable land that can go into rice production alone, and we are still importing rice, and other agricultural commodities that we import. What other challenge can you face if you decide to go into marketing and all? We identify one, uh, road network, maybe accident on the road, percent damages to the bags, then storage, pest and disease. Then another challenge that from experience that we've also had is the multiple checkpoints on the road. Sometimes before you get to where you are going to, the money you have used to sort Nigerian police it's just crazy. Now this is true. It's in a way it's a fact out there that we cannot deny that they are there. But as a driver too, if you are working if you are into marketing and all, the drivers you work with also matters. If you are working with if you are using a branded, a reputable company to transport, companies don't really need to give police anything. Police also know who they stop. They know themselves, right? And not only police, other people that tax agencies down the road, they know who they stop. There are people who deliberately try to evade tax. These are the people they climb down and they pay. But companies that pay tax, if you are using them to transport your commodity, you don't have any problem, right? But if you are going to use any driver to just move, some drivers they don't have driver's license. So when you don't have driver's license and the police officer is holding you down, you want to move. So you are forced to give something to the police officer, so he allows you go. So sometimes in one way, we are the one that is encouraging the corruption and encouraging the police officers. We know the police officers have their own, yes, but we are also the one encouraging them. So find a way to work with companies that it's actually very it's a big concern because of the multiple checkpoints on the way. And of course, we call on the federal government to maybe do more for the police in terms of their welfare, probably to help reduce their eagerness to take small money from people on the way. Yeah, if you are into processing, of course, you may have issues with your machines and all. That's your challenge. That's the risk. Of course, you can manage it. So we say source for machines that the parts can be locally fabricated, search for machines that the parts can be locally sourced, so that you don't bring sophisticated machine and when the part is damaged, you have to go back to, I don't know, whatever country you must have purchased it to try to fix in parts. So that's another one. So if you decide to invest in the agri space, there are uh, machineries who have localized or country offices where you can easily get their part. Then issue of theft around that's cross-cutting. So that is you managing your personnel to ensure that you recruit people that will not steal from you. These are just to mention a few other challenges may be there. Now, having discussed this, I know the question that may be coming to mind is, so where do I get money? Of course, if you're in the diaspora, you should not be asking us where to get money. You're already making foreign currency that you can look into investing, because whether you like it or not, one way or the other, you want to come back to Nigeria. And at the time you come back, maybe your old age, it's good you have an investment legacy that one will help you live long, in the sense that it's something you are engaging in on a day to day. Imagine coming back to Nigeria after maybe 20, 30 years and you have a large farm that you can just go in, step in, look at how your crops are doing. There are other, maybe if it's an integrated farm, there are other things that are there you can pick and eat, you know. So it keeps you are engaged, you are engaged. You are not just idle at home reading newspaper or watching the television. So you already have funds if you're in the diaspora. But if you're in Nigeria and you're looking at, okay, how do I source funds? Yeah, I will itemize a few, right? And you can seek professional counsel further on how to get some of these funds. There are grants out there. Now, grants are credits given to you, financial credit. Some may be in kind that you don't need to pay back. You can also get loan, right? There are loans. You can source for money from your friends and your family. You can source for money from relative. You can do partnership, get other people who are interested in the business to that. I did that for my business and it actually did paid well. Get friends with like minds, right? To invest, you have now you may need to consult a legal practitioner to guide you on how to do that. So you get friends that will come in, you bring in money and you invest in it. You can get money from an angel investor. Look at someone who you can pitch your business to, right? That will be interested in what you are proposing and may want to give you some money to start the business. You can also get money from your savings. In our elementary economy, the savings they say is equal to investment. So why not look at your current financial architecture and look at how you can build a saving culture for a period of time so that you can raise a little capital to start. So you can start from somewhere. You can start from half a hectare. You can start from hectare. Now you must not buy the land. There are always arrangement around renting land. And renting of land per annum, our current figure is hovering around 40 to 50,000. You can rent the land per annum, right? You use it and you pay. Some people don't even pay. What they do is when you harvest, you give a bag to the person that gave you the land. A bag is even more than the 40 to 50,000 because a bag of rice is around 65,000. So imagine, because you don't have the money to pay and the person is willing to give you to wait for harvest. Then when you harvest, you just give the person one bag. So it means that you can get land almost next to nothing, right? So that is how you can source for funds. Again, just to reiterate, loans, grants, friends and family, angel investors from your savings. And of course, there are also competition out there. The Tolu Elumelu Foundation. There are also several competition out there, or business plan competition, where you can put in some money and put in your business plan. And if you get lucky, you get that money you can invest in. So next, what I'll be discussing is next step for new entrants. So if you want to now go into the value chain after all this, now you've made up your mind to meet it. So what I'll say is first, do your consultation. Do your consultation. Decide uh, on uh, on which of the value chain where you want to come in. So after that decision, then you do your consultation. If possible, do a business plan. Now, if you want, you may need to seek, if you need consultancy, you want to seek further guidance on that, you can inquire. You do a business plan so that it's cheaper to make mistakes on papers than in the field. So do your business plan using the prevailing market price at that time and see what it can give you, what you can get, what profitability is, the risks and all, do your strengths, do your SWOT analysis, do all the analysis. Then you do further consultation, where it's consultation around where you are sourcing your input, consultation around farmers you are going to work with. That is, if you don't, because at this level, coming as an investor, nobody is saying you should come and take hoe and cutlass. Nobody is saying you should come and mount on tractor. These services are available. So it's doing your consultation on where you can source all the services to use. So when you do your consultation, now you now know, okay, I have my business plan. I have done my consultation. I now know which states. Like for this video, some of the videos we did share is from videos from Kano State, right? Garumalam, we did that. Chiromawa, there is Tiga, right? Yeah, these are the videos we have. So look at, okay, where am I going to take this decision to invest? Is security okay? Do I have access road? You do all those consultation. Then the next thing is, now where do I get the right inputs that will not be adulterated? One of the challenges we mentioned was adulterated input. So you get that. Then seek extension counsel. And that is agri advisory counsel. Then once you have done that, now you go into your production. So these are the next step you can quickly take if you're going to go into production. But if you're going to go into marketing, for instance, okay, where do I buy at this? If I buy, where do I buy cheaper and sell at a given a markup margin? If I buy in this state and transport to this state, how much will I be selling? What is the markup? So what quantity do I need to buy to stay profitable at a level? What is, so you also do a business plan. What is my growth plan? If I'm going to start with 50 bags, when do I get to 100? When do I get to 600? When can I do 2 trailers? Where is the market? Who are the people that will be buying from me? Which is my target market? So you may need to, in your business plan, you may need to now identify the market segment, the people you want to stay with. Are they businessmen? Are they office civil servants? Are they students? Are they your friends? Look at where you are selling that if you are going to go into marketing. Now, if you are going to go into processing, okay, what scale can I come in processing? What kind of machine can I do a ton per hectare, a ton, sorry, beg your pardon, a ton per day? What kind of destoner do I need? What kind of sorter do I need? What kind of polisher do I need? What kind of grading machine do I need? What kind of pulley will I be needing? So you now say, okay, what kind of drums will I need? What kind of drums will I need to parboil? What kind of place will I need to dry? That's all around the rice. Do I need to engage women to parboil for me? What kind of boiling system do I want to do? First, bottom, how do you want to go about it? So you now make all those inquiries, put that in writing, let it be a business case for you. Then you source your paddy. Where am I going to get good paddy? So that you don't buy paddy. And one of the risks also is that you don't go buy paddy and it's empty. You buy paddy that is just hot scotch, there's nothing inside, So you're sure that you're getting the right paddy, good paddy. So where do I source for good paddy? Where do I source for paddy that in the process of milling will not be breaking? What is the moisture content? These are some of the questions you ask. Then you also know that when you start business, there are some shocks you have to find a way to absorb. So of course, in your calculation, your financials, you put out miscellaneous, because once you want to start using a new machine, there's tendency that some of your paddy will be breaking, and all that. So sorting, find a way to deal with that. Then if you want to come in as a retailer, which wholesaler do I buy from at a good price? Then who are my end consumers that I will be selling to? Which of the markets should I go to that I can get a shop and I can buy and I sell? Do I want to have a shop that is wholly rice? Do I want to be known for rice? So these are some of the things. So next step is do all those correction, all those consultation, all those checks. Then you take your decision. Then you invest. So invest now and invest today. And if the government functionaries and all that, you stumble into your corner and you're reading this, let's not overthink on how to create jobs. With little capacity building, with little incentives around it, you create jobs for a lot of youth, and insecurity will be reduced. The effect, the imbalance in traders, the trade deficit we're having will be corrected, because a lot of money that we're using to pursue dollar to go buy rice will now be reduced, because we have more people engaged in the rice production value chain, and it's complementing for other programs of the government. So create job through the rice value chain, create job through the rice sector, create the enabling environment, Then some of the complaints we had, okay, just to digress a little to the government now, if you're going to give input, say fertilizer to farmers, give them on time. And from experience from the field, it is habitual that this input gets to farmers late, at almost when they've even harvested. Sometimes that's when it gets to them. So it then becomes almost useless. Then sometimes the input gets to political farmers or elitist farmer or non-farmers, whichever name suits that purpose. So invest today in this sector, and I know you'll be better off from it, whether in the diaspora, in Nigeria, or you're a foreign investor. Look into the rice value chain. There's a huge gap in it. So thank you. I believe this video was useful to you. I believe it will help you make a decision. I believe when you invest, you will make profits. It will better you and your family. If the video was useful to you, please like, please comment, let's interact. Let's interact in there. Please comment, let's interact. I'll put down your question. I'll be willing to respond to your question out there. So let's interact. Subscribe, because more videos will be coming. Subscribe so that you can get further videos on other. This is just for rice. There are other value chains with this. Then also share in your various social media so people can see it and watch the video. Thank you very much. Thank you.